Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of An Evening with Filmmakers. This is Jacob Snyder here with Nicholas Johnson, and today our special guest is David Navarrete. David, would you like to introduce yourself for everybody?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like Jake said, my name's David Navarrete. I'm owner of a production company called Moneta Design, and I also own a community of filmmakers called Arizona Filmmakers.
Awesome. Nice to have you on the show. Thank you for making the time to do this.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So David and we met a couple weeks ago at the M3 Fest Music Festival here in Phoenix. And that was such a cool experience.
It was really fun.
Yeah. One, I got to meet you, and two, it was just a great vibe. Great. It was just fun being there, you know?
Yeah, really inspiring seeing all these people just being together, enjoying, I don't know, something great for Arizona and Phoenix in general.
For sure. That was the first, I'd never really done any live event like that before. Is that something you've done a lot in the past, or is that something you really like to do?
Yeah, I actually do enjoy it. Just being able to capture people interacting, or like how Connor was saying, the activation shots,
The
which I've
activation
never
shot.
heard. Yeah, getting
Shout
people
out to Connor
interact.
Kenrick.
Yep. And just telling, like, almost directing people and being part of the event itself.
Mhm.
Something that because we do, Moneta Design does events for corporate events to, some festivals. But I tell my team, like, uh, when you're out there, don't just be a fly on the wall. Be,
Mhm.
provide the experience, be part of the festival or the event, and be part of the entertainment as much as the other things of the entertainment in the festival. Because now we can direct people to do this, do that, and they kind of enjoy being in front of the camera.
Mhm.
So doing that at the festival was really entertaining, and yeah, I've done things like this before.
Does that so yeah, you're the owner of a company, Moneta Design, and yeah, do you want to speak to your company's philosophy? I feel like that kind of ties into what you were saying about providing a story and how that is kind of the keystone on how you approach your videos.
Yeah, so Moneta Design focuses a lot on story brand. So telling stories, because right now, everyone's saying content and video is king. It's like, the new thing.
Mhm.
And it's funny. Yeah, it is. That's where all the social platforms are moving towards. But the thing that is consistent within each form of content is story. That doesn't go away. It's literally what biology is meant to do from the beginning of the first cell. It's passing on
Hmm.
information through DNA to now, caveman writings in the wall. It's how we grow as a civilization. So story is the king, really.
Hmm.
And that's what we focus on. I won't say we have the best equipment, the greatest gear, which now with our filmmaking community we do, but what we do have and we can guarantee is great stories to go with your business.
I really like that. Story is king. That's a really cool quote.
Yeah. Yes.
That is something Nick and I like to talk about a lot. Just paying attention to story, if you start a story, go all the way with it. That's something Nick and I recently have been, I guess, self-quoting a lot. Just making sure if you're gonna commit to a story, like actually commit, do go for it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like do everything you can to like tell the story in its truest form. I feel like that's what is kind of lacking in a lot of media that we've seen today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's more flashy. It's like flashy clips and making
Right,
it
right.
all like as pretty as you can, but then at the end of the day you're like, what did I just watch? Or, what value did I get out of
Yeah,
this?
it's
Exactly.
skin deep.
It's all about like spectacle and stuff like that without like the true essence of what you're trying to like talk about, you know.
Spectacle over substance.
Substance, that's the word. Yeah.
And honestly, it could also be attributed to how easy it is. Well, you know, quote unquote easy, or maybe how accessible it is now to make a video, because you know there's free software now to edit things. Phone cameras they're almost rivaling a lot of professional cameras, depending on the phone you have. The footage is just becoming so good for anyone to make on their own. And you know, if you're starting out, you're not going to know everything. We don't know everything, and we've been doing this for a couple years now. And just all these easy access tools, you're going to chase after, you know, clickbaity things you see on TikTok, on Instagram, and a lot of those are spectacle over substance.
Yeah, and that speaks a lot to the advancement of technology there, because you know, technology is advancing at an exponential level, and everything that technology is, it's just a tool. But when technology advances quicker than how we adapt to use those tools, we become servants to the technology, and now the technology kind of controls us rather than us learning and knowing how to use the tools. So people are now just trying to use these tools without actually adapting to how to use them and how to tell those stories with it.
Right. They're not
They're depending on it too much.
like they're not bending it to what they want. They're just using it to
Just to use it.
Just to do like all the work for them, basically.
That's interesting. That's really interesting.
Like actually, yeah, because Jake, you had told me the other day, like people are using AI to just completely like write articles and stuff like that for them. I think I even saw someone was using AI just to animate in its entirety like the story that they want to tell. And then it's like that it's cool that we can do that technologically, but now it's like I feel like the stories and things like that, it's gonna start lacking because there's not really gonna be any like heart to it, you know, if we're just giving it to the computer to just pump out the product and stuff like that. So
right, we have to make sure these tools stay as tools, or at the very most helpful partners in the creation process. They cannot be the creator. They have to stay. The human element has to stay key.
Yeah,
like, you know.
Yeah, the way I think of it is, you know, back to the caveman that I was saying is, you know, we found out the tool of the stones on how to break them, and like the arrows and all that stuff. Like it was advancing at the same level as humans. Like as we're advancing, we're coming up with ways to use it creatively. But once technology becomes just a source of entertainment and something if it's not advancing the way you're living and it's just keeping you kind of dull, kind of like what social media has done, then you're not using the tool right. So when AI came out, I wanted to make sure that I jump on top of it so that I know how to use it and advance what I'm already doing, supercharge me instead of just dull me out, you know?
Right, exactly.
David, you had brought up your company, Moneta Design, and I just wanted to ask, how did that come about? Like where it is right now, did you always envision it to be exactly like it is, or did some things maybe change along the way, or just tell me about the process of that?
Yeah, so Moneta Design started because I, at the time, stopped going to school. I got my bachelor's in biology. I went to pre-med. I was going to go to medical school, but I was really saddened by the industry, and I was already dealing with a lot of depression. So I knew if I had to become a doctor and turn patients away because of insurance reasons, I wasn't going to be able to live with myself. So, you know, telling my parents that I wasn't going to be a doctor and I was going to be something else was really stressful. And in that depression and in that stress, I leaned on videography. And I was trying to compensate because what am I going to do now? And in that instance, I was like, okay, I got to make money and I got to build a business. What should I call it? So the name Moneta Design doesn't sound like anything, but I chose it for that reason because I wanted to give it meaning. So when people hear that name, they associate great quality, storytelling, branding. And so Moneta is I took a page from Nike. Nike is a god of speed or athleticism or something. So, but when
Oh,
you think,
really?
yeah, but when you think of Nike now, you just think of the shoes or the
Yeah.
clothing brand.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
The swoosh.
So it's the swoosh, yeah. So Moneta is the Roman goddess of memories. So every video we capture is a memory captured in time.
Oh,
shit.
dang.
That's actually
Okay.
really cool.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
So
like if I'm being honest here, when I first read the name of your company, I thought I was just looking at it and I was like, "Oh, Monet de Cine. Nice. I
Yeah.
like it." That's really
the,
interesting.
yeah, design is the play on words with design because I didn't know if I wanted to do photography, graphic design, video. Like, what is the business going to be about? So I kept design, but design is Romanian for within self. So like art is created within self. Very poetic, very artistic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's really cool. I like hearing the thought process that went behind the naming. That's actually really
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah. And for the longest time, no one liked the name.
Oh.
My friends, my friends were like, "You'll change it. Don't worry." And I'm like,
Oh, okay.
Don't change it, bro.
"Thank you."
Yeah, no.
But yeah, as soon as it started getting some traction, people love the brand and the name, the logo. So
That was actually another question, going into the logo, the branding, and you not knowing what it was going to be, whether it be photography, design, videography. We were looking over your website and we saw, your whole store page full of just a
yeah.
bunch of merch with the logo on it.
Mhm.
And yeah, we were just wondering, like, what was your goal behind making merch, like a branding initiative, just to get your logo out there, get people to be able to recognize you just based off of a visual, or was that like a way to fund this business?
No, so literally I had to find merch and for my team, and I couldn't find a good place to get the merch, but this this plugin for the website called Printful
Hmm.
offered that. And so I started using it and people loved it. Well, my team did. And then some of my clients were like, "Hey, how do I get those hats?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I can set it up on my website and you can buy some." And I didn't mark it up. It's like literally the same price that I buy them at. So
Wow.
not for funding, but it's just a cool brand awareness thing that I've done.
Okay, yeah, that is very cool. And were you the designer behind it?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, I have a lot of design influence in a lot of things that I do, even the videos like graphics design, motion graphics and things like that. So
Okay. So do you see this merch shop expanding to like actually like
mm,
get new designs in, or is this like is it what it is and that's it, you know?
that's it. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be anything more. Maybe if the company grows, maybe I will focus on it. But as of right, because it does look nice and I really enjoy the look of it. But as of right now, it's just, if it's Christmas and I need to send my clients some, reminder. I
Mm.
send them a hat or something.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay. Huh.
yeah.
Interesting. It's like a business card that you can wear.
Yeah, yeah, like a business card, and it's really cool to see people wearing your hats or your logos. So
Yeah, that is really cool.
Yeah, what gambles did you take to make your dream come to life? And I kind of want to ask, like, did it pay off in the end? But it from an outside perspective looking in, it looks like it is, honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
thank you, thank you. Yeah, there's quite a big gambles, and I'm such a nice guy and don't like conflict as much.
Mm.
Which
Hmm.
being in business, you got to learn how to be a shark,
Oh yeah.
and you.
Ooh, yeah.
But I'll just preface with that. But um, what the biggest gamble was switching careers from becoming a doctor, and very ambitious, so I wanted to be a neurosurgeon.
Mm.
Oh
Um,
shit.
so
Okay.
if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna try to do the best of the best. And
Right.
luckily, I was really intrigued by the brain. I actually learned a lot.
Mhm.
But telling my parents, who were supporting us at the time, they were providing us with housing. With them, I had a wife and a son, and to just decide, like, I don't want to do this. I'm already $30,000 in debt, and I have to go hundreds more to be a doctor.
Mhm.
So to tell them, hey, I just wasted 5 years and wasted your time and money. And sorry, wife, Adriana, that I'm not going to be the successful doctor. I have no idea what I'm going to do now,
Mhm.
was terrifying. I was up all like every night just thinking, like, what am I going to do? How am I going to break this? Should I just bite my own tongue and just live this miserable life just to keep everyone happy? Or should I do something that I love? And it was like a good solid maybe 6 months of just turmoil. And I was watching as many videos as I could of successful directors and
Mhm.
seeing their story. Like, is there anything that could help me? And I actually watched a Steven Spielberg speech where he said, basically, he was in the same position. He didn't know what he wanted to do, and he quieted his mind, and he listened to this little voice, and that little voice told him where to go. And I wasn't sure if I did have that little voice, but something was telling me, like, do videos, because all the people that I was watching were directors. I was like, okay, there's not a coincidence. I do like this industry. I should try to do it. So doing that jump, I overcompensated. I got like 3 jobs just to, provide for my family, because, after not going to school, I wasn't going to just live off my parents anymore.
Right.
There's
Right.
no excuses anymore. So I was working as a food runner server at BJ's. Then I was working door to door sales for Sprint. And then during the nighttime, I was working at UPS, which was my longest job, 3 years.
Mm.
And so my schedule looked kind of like this. I would wake up at 2 in the morning, go to UPS, work there till 11, and then maybe take a nap. Then
Maybe.
one, maybe,
Damn.
yeah, and then 1 o'clock, I would go door to door, sell Sprint, and just so many doors like just slammed in your face. So
Mhm.
then after that, come home, shower, and go to work at BJ's, and then get off at like maybe around 8, and then go to bed, and then wake up and do that every day.
So, okay, if you got off at 8 and you woke up at 2,
Yeah,
what that averaged to how many hours a night?
I think I was averaging around 3 hours of sleep for a good solid 2 years.
Oh man.
I'm
Yeah.
really happy you're still here with us because that sounds killer, dude. That
3
sounds
hours, bro?
insane.
Yeah, 3 hours I was averaging, and I probably went insane for a little bit. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
because like
I bet.
like during the time that I was trying to go to sleep, I would
Mhm.
try to go to sleep at least by 10.
Mhm.
But
S-
when I was trying to go to sleep, my wife and my son and everybody would still be awake.
Mhm.
And then so they would be making noise, they'd be screaming, my son would be screaming. And I was like going crazy, like, I need to sleep now.
Yeah.
Or, you know
God.
what I mean?
Yeah. While this crazy schedule was happening, were you physically able to make moves towards where you are now, or was this period just for building up a savings?
No. So I wasn't even saving anything. I was just making ends meet.
Oh my
Man.
God! So
Yeah.
how
So
how did you get from there to here then?
Yeah. Did you like meet someone that was maybe like a doorway in, or did you just say like,
I
I'm not doing this anymore, let me just make this jump?
no, so an hour a day, I would at least an hour a day. Some days I would have more. Like if they sent me home early from UPS, like those were the moments I would look forward to.
Mhm.
But an hour a day at least to work on the business and think about what I want to do, and look for opportunities, because I didn't come from a background of entrepreneurship or business. My family, we're all just workers like that, uh, employee mindset. So I had no idea what I didn't know.
Ooh, okay.
So what I did is I try to look for opportunities and try to work backwards, reverse engineer. I said, okay, I got to be an entrepreneur. I got to be learn how to do business. So I was lucky enough to be on those Facebook groups, the business Facebook groups, and I
Hmm.
saw that someone was promoting um, a community called Arizona Entrepreneurs. And
Okay.
he just started it, and then I reached out to him. I emailed him or messaged him, and I said, "Hey, I can see where this is going. This community. I know how to brand stuff really well. Let me do all this for free for you. In exchange, I just want to be a part of this community and help it grow." And we blew it up.
Oh shit.
Okay, okay, I
We
see you.
we, we blew it up. Now, like he's making he's great. He's man so successful, and the cool part is that, okay, I got to make money with videos,
Mhm.
but I need to learn how to do business stuff. So what I thought is, okay, I'm going to work with entrepreneurs and business coaches and people that teach about business, and I'm
Mhm.
going to help them record their content. And in return, not only am I getting paid, but I'm learning this stuff that I need to learn. So these private business seminars and things like that I would be attending, I'll be taking notes. I'll take the footage home and learn and try to figure out, okay, how do you actually grow a business and not create a job for yourself and you're working 24 hours a day.
Right. Wow.
So it seemed common sense to me. And I'm so thankful I did that because now I have all this knowledge on how to grow a business.
Mm-hmm.
And not only did I get it for free, I was getting paid to learn.
Wow. It's like three birds with one stone.
And that's what I'm
Jeez.
all about. Yeah, if I can kill as many birds with one stone, like and I'm pretty good at figuring out those. Like, okay, these are all the problems I need. How can I do it all in once?
Wow.
Okay, I like that problem solver mindset.
Yeah, David the
Mhm.
Bird Killer. God damn.
Even the bird killer. That's gonna be my new tagline.
That could be like a movie, matter of fact, like a Wolf of Wall Street, David the Bird
David the
Killer
bird.
kind of thing. That'd be kind of dope.
Played by Leo DiCaprio.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
5 hour long epic. Oh my gosh.
5 hours.
Like
Funny.
Shakespearean part 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
He only ever succeeds though. There's no like
Yeah, there's no problems in the
Yeah.
story after the first act. It's just how this
Yeah.
one dude takes over the world.
that's funny.
That's so inspiring, dude.
Yeah, man.
I don't know if we've said it yet, but huge congratulations.
Yeah, I am in awe, man, of everything you've achieved, especially what you said, like how you started and where you are right now. Like that's truly incredible.
That's
to me.
dedication.
Yeah, it's one of those things like you just have to have the resiliency and keep in mind why you're doing it. Because if you don't have a strong why of why you actually are chasing after what you want, if you don't have that strong why, you're not going to make it. It's
Right.
not going to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
it's not going to be enough of a push.
Yeah, it'll fizzle
Yeah.
out.
Like I think
Mhm.
I think it was I saw Snoop Dogg in an interview saying like if you're chasing something, like don't do it for the money, do it for the passion. Because if it's just for the money, like you said, you know, you're gonna fizzle out of it. You're not gonna be as invested, and there's no way it could truly succeed. But if you genuinely care about it, and I really, really want to do this, then at some point, as long as you stay consistent, you keep working at it, then your dreams are gonna come true, and then you're gonna be living the life that you always wanted. So
Mhm.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
So, okay. And where does your group, Arizona Filmmakers, come into play in this story?
Yeah. So one thing that I learned, a big takeaway was that you are who you hang around with.
Right.
So being around all these entrepreneurs, I was becoming an entrepreneur. The only problem was that I didn't know how to break into the filmmaking space and get into these big commercials. All I was doing was the short form content and short videos, and it kind of sucked. Like I didn't like that space. So I wanted to like, how do I break into the bigger commercials?
Mhm.
Now I know the key is to surround yourself with the people that you want to be like. And so I try to reach out to these bigger companies like uh yeah, I won't name any names, but I was trying to reach out to them and be like, hey, I would love to get some coffee, or I would love to just shadow you or just learn from you guys. And they're either busy or they just some people didn't even want to collaborate or talk to me because they had this scarcity mindset. Like, I'm not going to train my competition.
Right, right. Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, dang, like this kind of community is kind of cutthroat. They're very competitive. Like, I need to find like a place where I could create a place where I can meet these people. And so I felt like I successfully helped my friend Devin create Arizona Entrepreneurs, the community of entrepreneurs. And I said, okay, was it all luck, or can I recreate this with my branding and everything that I've learned that I implemented? So I was like, okay, I think I'm going to start a community of my own, Arizona Filmmakers, and see if I could, catch that lightning in a bottle again.
Mm-hmm.
I did it 3 months after I started. We sold out our event. 300, like almost 300 people showed up.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. So I know what I'm doing when it comes to branding and marketing.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome.
So what happened was that once I started connecting myself with these people in this filmmaking space and the commercial world and everything, is I started getting those clients. They started referring me stuff. Like, it's crazy how how you're just one connection away, which is Devin's slogan for Arizona entrepreneurs. But it's true. Like, the people you surround yourself with is the people you're going to become.
Wow. Yeah. I remember seeing you wearing that shirt at the festival. It made an impression on me. You are who you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another one of my friends who owns the Growth House, where he puts entrepreneurs in the house, almost like I told him he should make like a reality TV show, like, entrepreneurs in a house.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to connect you more with entrepreneurs that are around you, that are living with you. But yeah, it's so true. It's like, if there's one thing that will really expedite your journey, is really surround yourself with the people you want to be with. So it didn't make sense to me that filmmakers didn't want to surround themselves with other filmmakers because they thought it was competition. But if you do, like, it's just growth.
Yeah. So what is the current state of the Arizona Filmmaking Group?
Well, right now, which is funny, is that we are starting to be seen by like the Arizona Film Commission, the bigger people, and now we're like getting into more of the political side of things, which I never wanted to be a part of.
Mm-hmm.
But it's unavoidable now. People are like, okay, you got to be careful what you do, because people are going to be watching you like a hawk, or people are, like the higher up people are going to be watching you. And I want to kind of, one side, want to say, like, you know what, like, I don't care what they think. I'm just going to do my own thing and just keep going. But at the same time, like, I do want to be cooperative and be like, hey, well, I would love to help whatever you guys are trying to do, because at the end of the day, if we can elevate the state of Arizona, then it's a win for everybody.
Yeah, that's a good point. If you can put Arizona, even higher on the filmmaking map, that'll just draw even more opportunities for filmmakers across the state, including yourself.
And I think that's the next step. I think working on making Arizona like the next cultural hub.
Yeah, the huge emigration from California to Arizona that's been going on the past couple years, like, talent and the people are here, whether we know it or not. We just need to utilize it.
Mm-hmm. And if you go to our events, you'll see them. Like, there's people that have worked on the show Lost, or anger management, to all these. They're big people, and it's cool that there was just nothing to bring us together.
What kind of events do you throw?
So we throw networking events, and they're all value based. So we don't want to just make an event where it's just networking. It always has something to do. So whether it's like a red carpet event, we bring in the robot arm to capture those sweet slow motion, high speed, red carpet shots.
That's awesome.
Yeah, those are really fun. And 300 people go to those. We have small intimate ones, where our next one in April 15th is an all women's networking event to kind of promote and help women that are in filmmaking and kind of support them.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. And the event after that is called The Future of Filmmaking, where we talk about all the innovative stuff coming out that filmmakers can use.
Okay. And how often do you hold events like these? Do you make it a point like every month or every other month?
We're trying to do it every month, but right now, all the planning and everything is just me. So it's been
Yes.
tough. Yeah. So
Okay. Okay.
so I try my best, but I think we'll get there to the point where it's every month. Right now, it's been every other month.
Mm, okay.
Um, but yeah, the goal is just to surround yourself and the great thing is that sometimes you can go to these networking events and everybody seems kind of either nervous or stiff. They don't want to
Mm-hmm.
really like it's hard. It's and then it becomes clicky because if it's like a community that's been already established, people already have their cliques and their friends that they've made, and it's hard for new people to come in. But what's great about my community is that once you get there, people are so friendly. We're all goofy. We're all like theater kids basically that now
Gotcha.
grew up into successful filmmakers. But we're all just, we're not trying to pretend that we're something. We're more of we're just genuine and like to have fun.
That sounds awesome. That sounds like
Yeah.
super what we need here because Nick and I, we're kind of we feel like or we have felt like we were on our own, just two dudes who like to make videos and not
Mhm.
being, in LA, it did feel kind of like we were the only fish in the sea out here. But
Yeah.
it's really cool that you're doing something like this because that sounds super valuable.
You know what, too? The thing, like being part of this community also helps you foster that mentality of community over competition. Because even me creating this community and wanting to foster that, I wasn't even, I still suffered from that competition mindset because I wanted, I'm ambitious and I want to be I want to be like Ash Ketchum.
The
But
very best
the very best.
that
Yeah.
no one ever was.
Exactly, and I had all this momentum, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do it, like, I'm gonna be the biggest one and all this stuff," and as soon as I tapped into the community and I got to know these people at a personal level,
Mhm.
I was like, "Geez, I'm so far from where I wanna be." Like, these filmmakers that I met are are closer to what I wanna be, and I'm so far away from them. So you notice, like, once you're in this community, you notice how small you actually are.
Oh, okay.
Um
Okay.
but then something changes where you're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm actually closer because now I'm friends with these guys." Like now I can call them, "Hey, I had this problem with the client. What do you think?" And they're giving you advice on 30 plus years that they've had.
Wow. Yeah.
So you really embrace the fact that you are part of this community and you're on your way to success rather than like, "Oh, I'm intimidated because these guys are bigger than me and now I feel smaller." Like that goes out the window as soon as you're part of it.
That is so cool. So now that you mentioned this group is getting noticed by like the top brass in Arizona, do you
Mhm.
have like a goal or an end goal for this filmmaking group?
I wouldn't say I have a goal that we want to hit, but because this is all kind of new to me, I didn't know I was gonna, be in the association or community space. So I'm learning as I go.
Hmm.
But we do want to make sure we provide the connections and resources for people, and that we kind of bring awareness to Arizona, which we already have been. But we want to basically establish ourselves as almost like a second Hollywood, or yeah, just a cultural hub of the world, where it's like,
Yo,
oh, they're doing stuff over there.
I would super appreciate it if you created a second Hollywood for us here because that
Oh
would be
yeah,
so
man.
convenient. Holy crap.
Yeah. And what sucks is I feel like to do that, I got to start getting political and like, making like, hey,
Yeah.
like I'm all good for collaboration and I want to help, but if you guys aren't going to do anything in the next month, we're just going to go ahead and do it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Politics is definitely, from where Nick and I are standing, that's definitely a scary world that
Yeah.
pretty apprehensive about entering ourselves. Because it's tough when you just want to tell stories, but people want your stories to represent certain ideals. That's tough.
Hmm. Yeah. It's very true.
Shifting from your filmmaking group, then, do you have an end goal for your own business? Like, where would you
Yeah.
want that to go in the long term?
So ideally, I want it to be to the level of this is the agency that is creating some of the best commercials in the nation, where it's like Super Bowl ads or,
Oh shit. Yeah.
like I told you, when I'm ambitious, like I have a life coach. I think I've mentioned before, but she asked me the same question, and she's like, "Well, what are your goals? Like, what do you want to do?" And I told her all these goals, and she's like, "Wow, you're very ambitious." And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Well," she's like, "Well, it makes sense. Like thinking big takes as much energy as thinking small. So why not think big?"
Oh shit.
Wow.
What
Right?
a
I never
really
thought
good
about
way.
it like that.
Yeah.
Like when you think about it that way, why not? Like why not?
Literally, why
Yeah.
not?
There's really no reason why. It takes the same amount of energy to think big than it is to think small.
And it's kind of like that saying, shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you'll still wind up in the stars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You have nothing to lose by thinking big.
Yeah, if you're shooting for the front yard, okay, maybe you'll just kind of, if you miss, you'll be in the grass.
Yeah,
That's a
exactly.
lot lamer.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's a really cool goal. You'd be like the studio, the commercial studio, you know?
Mhm. And I don't want to be, always part of it. Like I'm completely fine with being like the founder and it's running on its own. I'm getting residuals and I've created a team or a business that runs on its own like a well-oiled machine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So would because you said you kind of want to approach that Spielberg status.
Mhm.
Does you potentially stepping away in the future, going hands off, does that tie into your desire to direct movies?
Yeah. So hopefully this Moneta design or even creating a branch of Moneta design into Moneta films, and creating a own, production,
Mm-hmm.
what's Spielberg's or like,
Oh,
what's it called?
Amblin?
Amblin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the goal. So Moneta design was just for me to make money off of film, off
Mm-hmm.
of video, because at the time I needed to provide for my family. But
Right.
once I'm established and once I have different streams of income, I hope to be able to actually do what I want, which is produce films or just make films.
That's cool. So it's like your springboard.
Yes. Yeah.
Got you. So, okay. So in that case, were you going to say something, Nick?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say. Oh, sorry. What's up, David?
No, well, real quick, because I feel like this is part of the answer to the other question of what the goal is. But um, it's funny. I want to be to the point where I have, how Rafi Law Group or 72 Sold on
Yes,
billboards
where they're everywhere.
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 I feel like billboards are not great if you're going to put up one billboard for a month and then not do it again. Like you have to be there every single day for years and years for it
Mm-hmm.
to at least do something for you. And to do that, it's like so much money. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like they're just flexing at this point. So
Yeah, it's like there's only more. There's never less for Rafi. Rafi
yeah.
especially.
So I want to get to that point where my production company can spend that much money. It's just like it's joke money at that point, but I want to be there where like my company is on the billboards across all the highways and that's when I know like, oh, okay, I have money. I'm successful enough to do that. I feel like I've made it.
Money out the wazoo. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
That's that reckless money right there, man.
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
But yeah, I was gonna ask. You mentioned Spielberg a couple of times. Like maybe what's your top? Who are like the top three like filmmakers, producers, entrepreneurs that have inspired you the most as you're doing this?
hmm Entrepreneurs, I wouldn't say I have any, but filmmakers, definitely would say Spielberg. I just love the feeling I get after watching one of his movies.
Mm-hmm.
Another one would be um, Jordan Peele. I really like him.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Good
Yeah,
choice. I like that.
yeah, he's good. I what's another one? What's his name? Inception.
Chris
Nolan.
Christopher
Okay.
Nolan. And
Those are choice picks, if I
Yeah.
might say myself.
Those are the greats
Yeah.
right there, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's that ambition coming back. Like you're aiming for the
I
best of
mean,
the best of the
Yeah.
best. Hell yeah.
yeah.
Each of them like changed the game. So yeah, that's I like that. Oh man.
So hopefully, I mean, track record so far, I feel pretty confident. I mean, if I can't figure it out right now, I trust my future self to figure it out.
You should feel confident, man, because it's all incredible, man. All the stuff that I've seen you do so far.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can I ask, what do you have like one standout important thing that you learned that you learned along the way of to where you are now that has maybe made all of this possible? Is there one like turning point in your mind or one lesson that really just paved the way for the rest of your path, your journey?
I want to think about one thing. If it was one thing, I want to say, and it's tough because I feel like in order to get the most out of this one thing, you got to have other traits and others like
Yeah, it's never truly one, like
one.
quote
Yeah.
unquote one thing, right?
Because so that one thing is surround yourself with the people you want to be like.
Okay. Okay.
So if I want to be a film director, I got to get to meet, I have to figure out a way to meet Spielberg and all these directors and be in a room where they can call me friends.
Gotcha.
So that's the goal. That's my mission.
Okay.
As soon as I figure out a way to get in a room with them and just be friends with them, not try to sell them, not try to like actually make a connection where they would want to help me on my journey, then I feel like I'm going to get there. That's my secret key.
Okay. Okay.
But but the thing is, if I tell people that, they're going to think, okay, I got to go to these networking events and I got to just sell myself, or I got to like, oh, this is what I am, this is what I want to be. No, you want to make connections. You don't want to just sell yourself and be that annoying car salesman. You got to consistently be in the room with these people and make a connection where they can call you and be like, hey, I'm having, my wife's having a birthday party. It's, do you want to come?
Something more personal, like you're able to turn off the business side and make like a genuine connection.
Yeah. And then so to be able to do that, to have the confidence to, go to your heroes and feel like you can be friends with them, you got to work on your mental stability and feel good enough about yourself to want to be able to do that.
Yeah, you got to have that confidence.
The confidence shouldn't come from the value of your work. It shouldn't come from your looks. It shouldn't come from your accomplishments. It should come from the person that you are, because you are already perfect. You're already,
Yeah, that reminds me. That reminds me of something I read in a book that you recommended. The Four Agreements.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think I'm halfway or almost halfway through that book. That is safe to say, I've never thought of things like that the book is saying, and I don't think I would have ever thought of these things without having read this book. It is such a really cool like realization, a lot of the teachings that this book provides. So do want to give a shout out to you for recommending that, and I also recommend it now too.
I'm so happy you read it, and it's funny because it's so simple.
It really is.
It's so simple. It's just like these little things of like, you shouldn't do this, and what the heck, you're right.
Yeah, no, I think maybe that's kind of what's genius about it. Like, these are things that happen to everybody, and you just kind of have to be aware of them and aware of how you're kind of conditioned to think certain ways for no real reason.
Do you want to share some of the things you've learned so far with the book?
Okay, so last night, I don't want to misquote it, and it is actually kind of what you just said. We reject ourselves for not being perfect, and And it's just like this whole idea of being perfect, us holding ourselves to these like crazy standards and punishing ourselves, or like just self-reprimanding us when we don't meet those standards, when like we're good, everything is, it's not the idea of perfectionism is instilled into us. It's not something that we come up with,
Yeah.
And that is where I left off last night. Like I said, I think that's near the middle of the book.
So I was a person who was a perfectionist, and I mean, you do have to realize that there's no such thing as a negative or a positive. It's just the same. It's a coin. It's just different faces of that coin.
Mm-hmm.
So you can choose to flip it whichever direction you want. So yeah, being a perfectionist does have its flaws, but it's helped me be a master at my craft. But in the way that I was a perfectionist and I always wanted to reach that, which you can never obtain, I switched that narrative to perfection isn't the final outcome. Perfection is non-complacent. It's change. So as long as I'm learning, consistently growing, I am perfect. I'm at perfect.
I like that. Progress is perfection. I
Yeah.
like that a lot. And that's just more incentive to keep progressing too.
Mm-hmm.
That really reminds me, and I think this is tangential. I don't know if there's like a direct relation, but it reminds me of something I heard recently where the neural response between, I think it was anxiety or fear and excitement, it's the same neural response. They just feel different because of how we interpret those responses. So like you can get, say if you have a fear of public speaking, if there's ways for you to just recognize, hey, I'm feeling this way right now, but let me just kind of not trick my brain, but just rewire how I feel to make this feel like I'm really excited to go and publicly speak right now. It just kind of reminds me like it's all perception, and it's all like things that were instilled in us, and we can reinterpret them in our own way to help us,
It's literally your thoughts. Your thoughts is the tool, and like I mentioned earlier in the podcast, it's a tool that we've haven't been able to adapt on how to use, and now you feel like your thoughts control you when you should be able to control your thoughts.
Exactly.
And there's so much there that I could talk about, and how to how to use this tool, which is thoughts, and not associate yourself with your thoughts. Like, oh, I'm thinking I'm not good enough, I'm not this, or just thinking that you are your thoughts, which that's never true.
First off, everything you've said today is truly inspiring. It's making me start to like perceive myself differently, like goals and stuff like that. So one question I have for you is like, if there's one lesson you could leave behind, or just like the legacy that you'd want to leave behind, what would that be?
The legacy that I would want to leave behind is that if I can make you feel noticed, or you could, if I could teach you to make someone else feel noticed, that's all I would want to leave behind. Like I know I could probably leave behind big, empires and businesses and all that stuff, but if I didn't have any of that, if there's one thing that I could leave, is that if I made you feel noticed, or I made you feel like you were important at some point, I hope that you could take what I did for you and do it for others. And so the reason why I come to that is because that's how I want my son to live and my future kids. I want them to live their best life and make others feel like you're just in the present moment and nothing else matters.
That's really nice. Just spreading the love. And that kind of just ties back to your whole filmmaking group, like just creating a community and supporting each other. That's a very, what's the word where it's like you're giving philanthropic?
Philanthropic.
That's a very philanthropic philosophy. I like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And this is kind of a side note. I don't know if this will be in the podcast. Future Nick, maybe edit this out. How exclusive is this Arizona Filmmakers group?
It's not exclusive at all. There's just people from barely starting to, there's carpenters, there's makeup artists, there's, when you watch a movie at the end of the credits, it's like a million names, so there's so many people involved in the filmmaking process that if you're even interested in filmmaking, this is the community for you.
So how would one or two young men go about trying to enter into this community? just asking for a friend.
For a friend, yeah.
Yeah, just two hypothetical, good-looking, eligible young men. You know what I'm saying?
Word on the street is they actually just made a Fire Flower commercial.
Oh man, I believe it.
I got to meet these guys. Oh my goodness.
Honestly, start following us and subscribe to our email list to stay updated with what we're doing. And just go to the events, start going to the events and meet people. We have a video on how to network properly. Super funny, super engaging, which I'll probably share on my story today. So if you guys follow me and following.
Should we even maybe link that video?
We can link his account.
Okay.
Maybe we can link the video if we find a link to it.
Yeah.
Is this on? Are you saying
Filmmakers?
Is this Instagram or Facebook?
Instagram.
Instagram. Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
AZ Filmmakers.
Arizona Filmmakers.
Arizona Filmmakers. Yes. I would love. Are you at every event?
I am. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. You might be seeing us.
I hope so.
We'll sneak up on you.
The amount of sneak ups I get.
That's awesome. And it looks like I'm already following you. So I just need to share this with Nick. And because this sounds like a great opportunity. I'm really appreciative of you taking your time to do this today and just meeting you in general, because this has been very cool.
Yeah, same. Likewise. Go to the link in our bio for Instagram and you can start seeing some stuff.
Oh, shit. Okay, I see it now. Filmmaking events. Got you. Okay. I will check this out here. Oh, yeah, there they are. Okay, cool.
As will I.
Okay. All right. Okay. David, is there any last words that you would like to say or any plugs you would like to plug?
Yeah. Please follow us at Arizona Filmmakers on Instagram and Moneta Design, MONETA DESINE on Instagram. And then we also have a Facebook group for Arizona Filmmakers. And yeah, if you see me on the street, please come up to me and say hi, because if I know you, I'm probably going to come up to you and say hi.
Awesome.
Okay. That's what's up. David, thank you so much for joining us. I've been your host, Nick Johnson, joined with Jacob Snyder. Man, I just want to say thank you so much. This has truly been an incredible conversation. I feel so blessed and so privileged to have been able to meet you and converse with you today. Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. And that is another episode of An Evening with Filmmakers. Thank you for listening, and we will be back next time.